Well, good morning, Elle. Good morning to everyone because this morning I'm doing an author interview with Beth L Robinson, who recently published her book, Awakening to Living Energy. So it's a great pleasure to have you here, Elle. I'm going to call you Elle because I know that's what I normally call you, but her name that she writes under is Beth L Robinson. So I really appreciate your coming here this morning and having a chat. So, El, what inspired you to embark on the ambitious journey of publishing, of writing and publishing?
Yes. Well, hi, Margie. Thanks for talking with me this morning. I have always wanted to write. I did do some writing when I was younger, but I never published it. And then I met up with Luxor nearly 30 years ago now, and we put together quite a lot of articles and information. And it just seems the right time now to publish.
Oh, well, terrific. So
Mm.
it's obviously been a long history there. And so why self-publish?
Well, self-publishing, we've already had an experience with the previous book, the Awakening to a New Mind, with a co-publisher. So we thought that one might be an interesting journey instead of a full-on publisher. But it ended up being fairly expensive, and also there were she didn't fully understand the process, so we had lots of setbacks. And we thought, well, it's time to bite the bullet and go full speed into self-publishing.
So obviously these were early challenges that you had.
Indeed, they were challenges. Because this lady we co-published with had other businesses that she was involved in, and this was her first foray into co-publishing. There were some times where we didn't even get to talk to her for months. So,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, we spent a lot of money just uh, which we feel was wasted. She never followed through on the interview she said she would do. She never followed through with a podcast and sending the book to the book fair. So we needed to get ourselves involved fully rather than muck around with someone, co-publishing.
Right, right. So you've really self-publishing has been your way of overcoming all those challenges that you've had in the past.
Yes, indeed.
So how do you go about generating ideas to for your books? Because you've done more than one book.
Yeah, we actually did a book 25 years ago now. Uh, a lot of our work is through talking in groups. So we actually, or even just one-on-one groups. So questioning is a storyline.
Mm.
So with Luxor and myself, we talk and we actually put it on the recorder.
Mm-hmm.
And then I listen to it afterwards and pick out what we see as suitable for another book or another article. That's our major area. And also, of course, there is the inspirational or channeling ideas that come through us as well. But we still talk about it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
mm,
Well, that's an interesting technique that because there are many ways to go about creating a book and to be able to record it and then create a book from that recording.
yeah.
It's certainly an excellent method for many people to go to take that path. So, um, what is the so you have a typical writing routine?
Well, yes, I do. As you may know, I am a full-time carer. Luxor, although he's still clear in the head, his physical body has deteriorated quite a large degree, so I'm his full-time carer. So sometimes that can be disruptive, and I just allow it. I
Yeah.
make it. But at other times, I do have a fairly organised routine, 4 to 5 days a week, and I get up, I do the chores for the caring and around the house. I then sit down um, before morning tea for an hour, and then after morning tea till lunch. And then after lunch, I also have another hour and a half, and then I've got a routine with the caring area after that. So
Right.
yeah, I have, and I think it's thanks to you really because my routine was non-existent. I really couldn't. I was a bit scattered, I think, but this has really made a difference. I work out exactly what I need to do for Lux in the morning. I get up at a regular time now. I sit down, and if I find I'm not able to sit down for or compile any new material, I just go back over old material. But yeah, so I do probably about 4 hours solid work in those 4 to 5 days. So
Mm.
I'm very pleased with that because the caring is full time, and on a stable week, it's about 20 to 25 hours of that kind of work.
Mm. Mm. Yeah. So do you have any tools or techniques to that you found useful for staying organized and focused and productive?
Um,
Or do you have write out a daily to-do list or anything like that?
well, yeah, again, since I've been doing the self-publishing course with you, I have started. I couldn't do it before for some reason. I just didn't want to keep to a routine. So I thought, yeah, no, this is going to make it much easier, and it is. I find I'm now a very habitual person. I
Mm.
sit myself down, I do what I need to do. But before then, and if I am not productive, then I actually clear the desk. Like I clear things, I clear the emails. As you suggested, there needs to be a clear space, need to have clarity um, to do the work. So, yeah, thank you
Well,
for that.
well, how do you handle everything when life does get in the way? Because I think life getting in the way happens to everybody,
Yes, it does.
and
Um,
life in the way can very often stop you from being productive and creative, and it's how to handle it.
okay, so I allow that life is getting in the way. I recognize it. So I go through a process. Okay, life's getting in the way. I recognize it. I'm aware, acknowledge it. Um, I sometimes think, yes, it gives me brain fog, so I have to settle back for a while and talk. And I find talking is my best area of clearing all the debris, if you like, or the detritus, or whatever you want to call it, or life's troubles or life's events. I work at clearing it by talking, and then I find that the inspiration starts to come through again, and I can sit down straight away. And what was difficult before, because I had other matters in my head, is not so difficult anymore.
Mm-hmm. So, have you ever experienced writer's block?
I have, yes, indeed, sitting there with a blank page. So, so again, initially I would just stare there and say, no, I've got myself organized. I have to stay here for the required time. But now I don't. I just go back over some old material, start reading it again, or I get up and walk away. And then until the juices start flowing again, I I just have to walk away. Otherwise, it builds up inside me so much so that I get rather frustrated.
Mm.
So now my routine, yep, walk away or just go over old material.
Hmm. So, like having this routine really seems to have helped you a lot.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I can't say it enough. I have to tell you that I have a scattered uh, a persona, I suppose you would call it, that I can't settle myself down. I like to do multiple tasking, but
Mm.
with this organization, keep going back to it. This is what I have to do. This is what I have to do. So I have checklists. And
Yes.
more than one, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So,
And a lot of the checklists are your checklists.
right. Okay.
So I much appreciate it.
Yeah. So, let's just have a look at the book you've published.
Mm.
I think when was the end of last year, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
did it cost you a lot of money to publish that book?
well, no. Um, after it cost us over 10,000 for the previous co-publishing. This was cut down. Well, it was. Of course, if you want to include the self-publishing course,
No, I'm
um,
not thinking
that
about that.
that's
I'm thinking the cost of actually publishing the book.
it was probably about we sorted it down to about $1,000, although we could take out a couple of $100. So um, that won't be needed for the next book. Um,
So you
yeah,
would have had the cost of getting ISBNs.
cost of ISBNs, but we had already we
You already
will
had
need,
those.
yes, we already had them.
Yes. And
Um,
what about your book cover?
the book cover that cost us about $500.
Right.
Just going back and forth and getting the right pixels and whatever was needed for
Hmm.
it. And then also we outsourced the formatting and the uploading to the one that you used on
Yeah.
Fiverr.
Yes. Yes.
So that was much appreciated. That cost $75.
Right.
Um, Toing and froing with him a bit with the process, but
Yeah.
now I get more of an understanding. He's very patient with us too.
Mm. Yeah.
Um, what else would there have
So,
been?
so well, so really, it was the getting the book cover design that is where the most of the cost was for you.
Mm. There was a little cost. We decided to trial marketing on the um, Ingram Spark.
Yeah.
It's $150, but I'm not sure that we would do that until
Yeah.
we get more well known.
Yeah. 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 So basically, the costs that you had that were involved in publishing your book was well, you had the ISBN, so you didn't really have to pay for that, but it was the cover and the formatting. So primarily, it's the cover was the cover,
Yes, yeah.
yeah, which can be done a lot more inexpensively these days.
Well, I think so because I'm looking at an AI picture for our next one, so it won't cost anything really, or
Yes,
very little.
and if you do it on Canva, um, it doesn't cost anything either.
Well, that's it as well because Neil, who's the other person, he's the techie person who did
Mm.
all the techie logins, etc. He's keen on doing Canva, and he's also keen on looking at AI areas as well. So we'll be using his expertise.
Yes, excellent. Now, with editing your book, how did you go about doing that?
Well, again, we followed. your guidelines. It made it so much easier than the previous book. So firstly, I did the manuscript. As you said, put it away. I put it away for 2 weeks. I opened it up again, did the editing and revising myself, and also got Lux to read through it. Then we put it away again. We have a friend. We found another friend who would like to edit and revise as well. So we got them to do the next lot. And the most important part, I think, Margie, was when you strongly suggested that we have a professional editor. And I thought, oh no, we don't really need that. Our writing's really good, etc., etc. So, but I followed your idea. So I got Eddie to do the professional edit, and really, wow, he did an excellent job. We used probably about 75% of his ideas and suggestions and changes, etc. So that was excellent, and particularly regarding a couple of the quotes we had written, clarifying them, that sort of thing, as well as including or changing around certain sentences. And now I utilise a lot of that he suggested in our the next book that we're doing.
Yeah, yes. And just going back to your book cover again, how did you actually get that made?
Well,
what was your process?
Okay, so the process was we first had the inspiration to use a painting that a friend of ours had done 20 years ago. She sold it to us, and I thought this is appropriate for the living energy, awakening the living energy. Because it was a painting and there were certain problems with getting the picture taken, Neil has a friend at his work who was a designer, a graphic designer. So that's basically where the $500 came in. Going backwards and forwards and getting it so it was just right, and then getting the binding, the sides, the spine. That's it. Yes, that was a bit of a problem, and what to write on it, things like that. But you talked about the spine as well, so that clarified matters as well for us.
Mm-hmm. And we mentioned formatting before. Tell us again how you went about getting your book formatted.
Well,
first of all, which platforms did you use to publish?
Well, we used Ingram Spark because it has a wide area of coverage, and also Amazon.
Right.
Amazon Kindle.
So you had to get the formatting done that was suitable for both platforms.
Oh, and of course, yes, for the PDF format and the EPUB format.
Yes.
So we did the ebook,
So the PDF for the print book and the EPUB for the ebook.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you go about getting the formatting done?
Well, Neil was planning to do it, but then he was rather busy, and he wasn't quite sure what to do. So we outsourced to Fiverr, and it was then a simple process. 1, 2, 3. He went through and did the formatting. We didn't like some of it. We had to go back to him because there were things over the page. But basically, it was an easy process. Once we got Ankit involved from Fiverr.
Yeah. So would you do that again? Take that approach?
Yes. Although, having said that, Neil is still keen to work on it because he loves those areas.
Mm.
He likes to explore and open them up. He likes to see them as his project. So for myself, I'd still go back to outsourcing, but we'll see how it goes with this next book.
Well, I've sort of found that the outsourcing of the formatting a great way to go, particularly having, you know, found the guy in India who does it so well,
Yes.
and it all gets done within 2 to 3 days. So, I found it's removed many headaches. And if you felt uncomfortable about uploading your files into the platform, well, I'd get him to do it. So it really solved a lot of issues. And
Well, I
so
agree with
I personally think that's the way to go because
you.
I'm certainly not a techie type person. And the
Yeah.
thought
No,
of
it's
formatting my own book is, not
a nightmare.
is a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah.
So this question is, if you think about yourself and think in terms of your younger self, what is there any advice you could give to yourself if you were a younger person, like starting out again?
Well, I would say to that younger person, well, I think the words are strike while the iron is hot because I prevaricated. I think, is that the word? No, I couldn't sit down and do something. I was wanting to, because I did a lot of reading, a lot of studying of different religions, ideologies, etc. And I wanted to write my own area because I saw things differently. But I just couldn't settle myself down and was saying to my younger self, "You're good enough. You can do it."
Mm,
I think that was the big thing. That's probably why I couldn't settle down to something because I didn't feel like I was good enough to do it.
mm.
So, yep, that's what I would say.
Well, you've gone through the experience of having published a few books,
Yes.
and you've done self-published the last one all yourself. What's next?
Definitely self-publishing the next book. I've already got the outline for the next book. Got all the chapters organized. So I'm keen to go with that book.
So how are you going to keep up this momentum? Like, how
Uh,
many books do you want to do? Do you want to build a book empire?
yeah, well, I don't know, Margie, but I'm looking at
Yeah.
20 books. Yeah, now that I've got the feel for it, I feel quite energized with getting the next book done and also all sorts of different things. So the next book is about women and the female energy, and also wanting to do an anthology of poems for Lux that he's written, and even a couple of my poems and a couple of short stories.
Mm.
I even wanted to do a children's book. I did write one. It was for 9 to 11-year-olds, and I never published it. But I think it was okay. So yeah, I've got some plans in my head.
Mm, mm. And have you ever thought about doing incorporating low content books into your repertoire of books for the future? Like
What do you mean?
like journals or guides or self-help guides. Um,
Oh yeah, so I have put together a program, a 3-in-1 program, which is a self-help guide. Yes, so I see people needing to get an understanding of themselves. I mean, that's probably why I feel so much more excited because I have much more of an understanding of who I am and what my purpose is. So if I can get other people enthused as well, then yes, I agree. I would like. I've got the 3-in-1 program, and it's a self area for people to do on their own with, maybe with Zoom meetings. I haven't gone ahead with it, but it's there ready.
Yeah, yeah. Have you got any advice for the new aspiring author who's struggling to complete their first book?
Yeah, well, I would say that that's an area of mental fogginess because of the uncertainty within themselves. I've had to deal with that area many times in the past, not so much now, because I know that through when I get a mental fog and I can't see my way through, it's overwhelming. I have to sit myself down and talk it through. So to find someone that you, a friend or confidant, that you can talk with, or your husband or whoever, it's extremely important to keep the communication in yourself open with others. So, yeah, that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, thank you for that. So,
Mm.
um, what sort of people would read your book? Have you got a specified market or type of
Well,
person, age group?
yeah, age group, we would suggest 30 onwards. Not because anyone between 20 and 30 can't read it. It's just that most people um, are ready to find their purpose in life, their willingness to open up new, greater mental vistas, so they get a greater understanding of who they are and where they are in life. Then I recommend that to anyone. So it can be under the age of 30, but in general, we find a lot of people who are interested are generally in their 40s and 50s and
Mm,
60s.
yeah, yes. And finally,
Hmm.
finally, how does somebody go about finding your book if they want to buy it?
Okay, so it's a website to start with, cosmicmind.com. It has the two books there. It's got a buy now action. So
Right.
you just click on there and it will take you to Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got a QR code
Mm-hmm.
as well. We've got posters that we have put
So
together.
anyone going into your website will
Mm.
be sort of directed. They click on your book and they go straight to Amazon.
Yeah, so it's cosmicmind.com, and under resources, because we've got more than the books, we've got the program that I just talked about previously, plus the two books in our resource area. Um, Also, Facebook, I also do our, I've got Beth L Robinson Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
and it also has the uh, lead to the cosmicmind.com. But
Mm-hmm.
anyone who wants to just do a Google search, Beth L Robinson or Awakening to Living Energy, it will come up. You know, I've seen it under quite a few areas like Angus and Robertson, and of course Amazon,
Yes,
and a
and
few
because you've also published on Ingram Spark,
others. Mm,
you'd be getting listed on some of those really big international
that's right. Yeah.
bookstores.
So I did. I go dancing every week, and the dance teacher said, "Well, how do I find your book?" So I just said, "Why don't you just put in Beth L Robinson?" And voila, it came up with the two books straight away.
Okay, so I yeah really appreciate your coming on this morning, and just give us that website again, your
A
website address.
a cosmicmind.com.
Did you say acosmicmind.com?
Yes,
So
that's correct. Yes.
so a cosmic. All one word,
Yes.
acosmicmind.com.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. And if they want to go straight on to Amazon under books
Yes,
or ebooks, because it's published both as a book, as a print book and an ebook, isn't it?
it is. Yes, both.
Yes. So they go into books or ebooks and
Yes,
key in your name, which is Beth L Robinson.
yes, that's it.
Excellent. And the book is called Awakening to Living Energy.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, that is fantastic. I really appreciate your coming on board here this morning, having this talk, and I wish you all the best and the greatest success for your current book and all the future books that are going to come out over your coming lifetime. So thank you very much, Beth.
Well, actually, L is like my middle name, Beth
Yeah,
L, but
yeah,
it's only the letter L when you see it.
yeah,
L's come about because it's just like a nickname.
yeah,
It's taken on. Everybody uses it now.
yeah, yeah. Right. Okay,
Okay.
then.
Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much,
Thank
Marjorie.
you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.